Good evening, SRA Nation. This is Division 3, Season 3, Round 3. Lots of threes at Donington Park. I am Douglas Mitchell on cams tonight, joined by Mr. Dominic Duran and Chris PBJ Hannigan. Thanks, guys.
What's going on, Doug? Thanks for having us. Yeah, three threes in a row. It's kind of like hitting the jackpot, right? So this could be a good race. We had a great race last week at Zandvoort. These guys put on a great show, so I'm super excited to see what they're going to do here at Donington this week.
Yeah, just piggybacking on what Chris said, it's a tricky track, but these rookies definitely put up some good fights against each other last week, so this is going to be a fun one to watch.
Let's dive right into learning a little bit about this track. Donington Park is one of the quintessential British racing tracks. It has 11 turns. Can you give us a little history lesson, Mr. PBJ?
Yeah, sure. Donington Park is a classic track, right? It's one of the great British tracks. Originally opened back in the 1930s on the Donington Hall estate. Basically during between the First and Second World Wars. And then after Second World War, it kind of fell into disrepair until the 70s when it was picked up by entrepreneur Tom Wheatcraft, and became the legend that it is today. Hosted one Formula One race back in 1993. That we all have that famous YouTube clip of Ayrton Senna driving around the outside, everybody in the rain in the first sector. But yeah, it's the home to MotoGP in Great Britain. F1 thought about coming back here for a little while, kind of throwing Silverstone under the bus, but they got the ride back. So it's a great track. It's an old school track, right? It kind of runs out through the fields and comes back in, and I think the Sector 3 is kind of a modern invention with the hairpins and all that, try to keep the track interesting. But definitely a favorite track for the drivers, and some of the drivers and the British fans.
I think it goes without saying that everyone loves Sector 1 and Sector 2, and everyone loathes Sector 3.
Yeah. It's just, it doesn't fit the flow. I mean, you go through first sector, which is a bunch of high-speed corners and sliding the car around through the countryside, and then you just get this street circuit feel sector 3, which is it just kind of kills the rhythm of the lap.
Yeah, the hairpins definitely messed me up a good few times yesterday. Let's dive into some of our more successful drivers in Season 3 so far for Division 3. We have the drivers' standings here. In position 1, Robbie Totti with 186 points, followed closely by Daniel Gutierrez in P2 with 173, and Austin Sawyer in P3 with 168. And it's very tight. As you can see, in contrast to Division 1, where there's some really stark points differences, Division 3 is really tight. The top 10 all within 100 points, that's literally one race win versus somebody else, and you can take 111 points in one race. Speaking of which, all the way down in P8 right now is Taylor Molyneux. He's got 111 points. That's pretty much a perfect race. So you have another one of those like that where he won last week. He can be right in either P1, P2, P3. Things can change rapidly. Speaking of these drivers, they belong to teams of two, and the leading team right now is Thick Boys with 3 C's, don't you forget it, with 275 points, followed by Apex Hunters with 266, and Team Atreides 2, because they are a sister team to the Team Atreides in the Division 2 series, with 249 points. Again, super tight, and that's just going to be a reflection of how close the Drivers' Championships are. A lot of really good points are available for these people, and they're hungry, I can promise you that.
Yeah, I think the biggest storyline of the day so far for me is last week's race winner, Molyneux. I don't see him in the session. I don't think he's here this week. So
I'm looking at the chat.
he's not.
Sorry to interrupt, but Dahy is saying that Molyneux is promoted to D2. So he's not
There
even
you
going to
go.
be relevant in today's race. He's been shown that maybe he's just a little bit too quick for Division 3. Division 3 is notorious for being our rookie division. Drivers are getting acclimated to either sim racing in general, ACC, or just the wherewithal within SRA as a whole. But that being said, Molyneux, you've been promoted. Congratulations. There were some drivers that were a little bit out of place when they were new to the league. And now we are left with the core group. of Division 3. So thank you for that clarification, Dahi. So,
Yeah, there you go. Congratulations, promoted. And but the top 3 are still here. You know, Robbie Toti, Gutierrez, and Sawyer. As you see, Lorenzo go off the road right there. And I don't know if you caught that in the PNP or not, but or the stream. But yeah, he went off into the tire wall. But
yeah, Duran, pull up your stream a second time if you wouldn't mind. When you switched over to check on the server, it didn't get popped back up again. But that being said, PBJ, can you go through the data that we have at our disposal right now while Durant's getting his picture-in-picture pulled up?
yeah, for sure. So it's qualifying for the season 3 or third round of the championship. It's 2 15-minute sessions here, all rolled into one huge 30-minute session. So right now, half the grid's on the field setting their qualifying laps. At our disposal, we have some basic telemetry showing lap times, sector times, things like that we use to follow the action here. As well as 2 pictures that we're going to try to give you guys, one for the mainstream, one for the picture-in-picture down in the corner, try to show some different action around the track as we go. The race itself is going to be a 60-minute race. They have a mandatory pit stop between minute 25 and minute 35. They have to stop, get 1 liter of fuel. No tire change required. Some tracks you need it, some tracks you don't. This one, I don't know. I mean, it kind of a lot of high-speed corners, lots of tire wear, but at the same time, these tires are designed to go about 2 hours in length because they're sports cars, endurance cars. So unless you do something kind of wonky, you should be okay. Just take your liter splash and go. But yeah, so right now we're watching qualifying and watching people set fastest laps. Right now, nobody's really going purple at the moment on the track. Lots of drivers doing personal best, including Itzpov, who is our fastest lap time so far.
It's actually coming around the final corner here. Why don't you give us a little walkthrough of Donington Park from the driver's perspective here?
Well, I'll try my best. I missed the race this week, but I do know a little bit about Donington. Head down the turn 1, they call it Red Gates, a fast second gear corner to the right. Use all the road on the exit. Then you start this nice sweeping uphill, downhill section, then back uphill through the Craner curves. That's turn 2 to the right, flip the curb, go back to the left, hit that little left. Oh, you go a little wide there, so you missed that. That's turn 3 up to what they call the old hairpin, which is turn 4. Not really a hairpin at all, but it does work out. Down the hill, quick kink to the left, that's turn 5. Another kink to the left, that's turn 6. On the brakes, back to the right, that's turn 7. All these corners, you know, second, third, fourth gear, somewhere around there. Use all the road on the exit if you can. Up the hill to turn 8, which is called Coppice. Probably some fancy British way of saying that. I don't know. It's kind of a double apex to the right. Back down the hill, you've completed the first and second sector of the track, but it's nice and fun and flowing. Now you get down to the chicane, which is also called the S's for some reason. But 9 and 10, use all the curb that you're there. There's usually tires there when you start the session, but you're a little wide right there. Down to the hairpin, the actual real hairpin. They call it the Melbourne hairpin. It's kind of a double apex hairpin here. To the right, up the hill, you do the exact same thing back around to the left, where the track kind of narrows down and funnels down to the front straightaway. Kind of a little crest of the hill right there, kind of washes the front of the car out. And yeah, that's a lap around Donington Park.
That wasn't the quickest lap for OMG, it's hot, but he is holding the current pole lap, which is a 128.7. That's pretty quick. In the Division 1 race, we had people dipping down into the 26s. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a 27 lap time around D3 here. Let's take a gander at someone else who's improving. Normando is currently in P3, and he is 4/10 up on his lap time, which would put him very comfortable right near pole.
He's on the flyer right now. If he could nail sector 3, lost a little bit of time in the chicane right there, but if he can keep that lap together, that'll definitely move him up to P2. As he gets a ton of time here in the hairpin, but he's also got a big old Bentley right in front of him right there. That's not going to help the cause at all.
He's still 6/10 up on his time.
Goes through the second hairpin here, back to the first way. This should be a time for pole right here, guys. I think we're going to see a time down in the 129s, 128s. Let's see, it's going to be a 128.2 from Normando. Puts himself on provisional pole with enough time to do one more lap. He wants to do it, but kind of got balk there in turn 1, so I don't think he's got time.
He needs
he's
to go back to the pits and kind of reset. Well, I guess, I mean,
I
16
don't know if
minutes
he has
left.
time.
Yeah,
Nah, he
Duran's
doesn't
got
have
a good
time.
point there. Can you share with the audience as to why you're concerned about that time?
Well, we have a divisional split within rookies, or maybe not even a divisional split, but only half of the field is allowed to go and qualify for the first 15 minutes, and then we have to give the second half of the field their own chance to qualify for the second 15 minutes. That is to avoid bunching up in the field and just give everybody space to get their clean laps in. And you can see at the end of that last lap from Pav that, or was it Normando? I'm sorry.
That was Normando. Yeah.
From Normando, that last lap, he kind of got held up by the Bentley in front a little bit. So, you know, maybe that Bentley wasn't on a hot lap, but like, we split the field up in half to try to alleviate some of that people tripping over each other in the middle of their hot laps.
It's not a perfect system, but it works.
Like Whiting, he's got picked him up here heading down the front straight. Just finished his lap. He jumps up to looks like P8 right there with a new personal best. Another car on a flyer right now is actually it's Pav on his final lap here. He's up about 3/10 on his fastest time. Gained a little bit of time through the first hairpin right there. Heads down to the second hairpin. If he can get another 10th right here, that'll put him on provisional pole. He's up about 3/10. Doing the nice late apex, gives him the best speed off the corner. He's up 4/10. This is a run for pole. And he just missed it. He missed it by less than 1/10 of a second there, but does improve to 128.3 for its pop, so that's good enough for P2 for now.
Just missed it there, but we're looking at another driver here, Aoki. He's currently 3 seconds off pole, but he's 6/10 up, which will get him a pretty good foothold up the rankings here. Let's see what he can manage. On the back straight, on what is, in my opinion, one of the hardest parts of this track here, it sneaks up a lot of people here.
Takes so much commitment.
That's the key to going fast, right? Is you really gotta minimize, or I guess maximize the minimum speed. Does that make any sense? Through stuff like that, a lot of people slow down and hit the corner, but if you can keep that minimum speed up through there and just take as much road as you can, make the track as wide as you can gain so much time in these slow corners, especially both these hairpins as well. He is still improving here. It might be good enough to get him up in maybe the top 10, maybe 8th, 9th, something like that. He does. Goes at P9 with a 130.1, and his qualifying is done.
A good showing from him, despite he's our only Nissan GTR in the entire league. Rep it proud, my friend. Rep it proud. Someone I have my eye on is Mr. Sarver here. He's always very active in the community, and he's been practicing quite a bit. He's eager to get out on track and sport his new livery, which we have downloaded for this week, so we can rep it for the community.
Let's go. And he gets it nice and dirty going through the dirt right there. So first lap, let's see, he's still on an out lap, isn't he? So a lot of this, so the second group's working their way out right now. They're going to get 15 minutes, try to beat the time set by the original group here. Normando provisional pole with a 28.2 at the moment. It's Pop 28.3. And then everyone else down in the 29s and 30s, so.
I still am banking that there's going to be a 127 time dropped in the bucket. Just got to wait to see who's going to clinch it first.
Oh, you never know in D3, right? I mean, it's kind of meant to be the scouting league, right? Where you kind of see, okay, how fast is this guy really going to be? So we get some unicorns drop in every once in a while, and that's when you just got to, all right, make the adjustment. We saw it happen to Molino last week, get promoted to D2, and you know, if it keeps working that way, that's just how the system works. Everything's working like it's supposed to, so.
Not a bad situation. Sarver is carving up the track at the moment. Let's see if he does it for Dale. Just sends it over that chicane, hard through the hairpins, and manages a good lap time. So far, the lines are looking pretty clean, boys.
Yeah, he's got a nice clean lap stitching together here. Take a look at his sector times here as he continues to work toward the hairpin.
You can definitely cut that chicane a little bit more. That green painted section, you can just almost straight line through that.
I don't He's not reporting a Sector 1 time, so I wonder if he invalidated in Sector 1, but not sure how the telemetry is reporting that. So, but he's continuing to work his way around. I'm going to go back and look up front and see if anybody else has jumped up there. Haven't seen any new drivers jump in there yet. Sawyer's the fastest driver out of the second bunch so far, P7 with a 29.5.
Sarver does manage a 130.8. He can be looking to make a larger improvement on that. Another driver to keep an eye on is Dan Meyer. He's got some mega pace in D3. Currently sitting with a 130.8, but he is encroaching 0.6 up on his current lap time.
Dan Meyer currently sitting P7 in the championship right now. Like to continue to move up in that general direction, get closer and closer to the front as he heads down to that chicane. You can use as much of that track as you dare. As long as you keep one tire on that white line, you should be good to go. K. Martin just jumped in P7 with another 29.4. So starting to see some of these drivers work their way up to the front. And it was interesting last week when we were watching Zandvoort, because it was raining, you know, the track conditions were changing. So you had to be out there at the right moment. It's at the fastest time. But here, all you're really getting is more rubber on the track as this session goes on. So these times should continue to go down. Right now, I mean, nobody's getting close to Normando or Itzpop. I mean, we're still a second and 1.2 seconds off our fastest lap for these second runners here.
Another big runner here is Sarver's teammate Sky, currently with 130.1, 1.2 seconds up on his lap time.
So from you guys' experience, Donington Park, we know it's not a good Aston track. Me and Dom can attest to that. But what cars tend to do well here? As Sky just goes P3 with a 28.8 right there. There you go. That's a good lap. That'll get you on the top couple rows anyway. But what cars? We got a Mercedes up front, an Aston running P2, and now an Audi running P3. But what if you guys could pick any car, which one would it be?
I'd have to bring the Porsche back. Especially for Sector 3, there's just some time that could never be found in front-engine cars in Sector 3 with the double hairpins. And that Porsche turns on a dime. Loves to take those slow corners, and that throttle control you feel in that car is just immaculate. There's nothing else like it you can feel in any other car. So that would be my pick to take to this track.
Chris, do we have any money in the SRA budget for a therapist? Because Dominic is a masochist. Putting himself through in the Porsche, that is just not okay. It's very quick, but it takes a lot of skill to drive that car smoothly. I've always found myself crashing in it. Maybe I'm just not as skilled as Duran, but he's proven that many times over. I think that this track, we've seen it. I don't think it's track specific. I think it's season specific. The Audi is very strong this season, and it's found itself to be in a really convenient place at the start of our season with a BOP for power, and it's just easier to drive given the recent attention from Kunos for the Evo 2 version. So I would take the Audi if I had to pick a car all over again. But I'm sweaty and I picked the easiest car to win in, and that's just how I operate.
Watching Sky go around in his Audi right now, and he is having some issues there in Sector 1. He's already down, or I guess up, or however you want to say it. He's 0.2 slower than his personal best, so nobody really setting in banger laps here as Sky just completely guesses the exit wrong there, loses a little bit more time. So he's going to try to regroup and go for another run here.
Someone who is improving is Tony Proenza. He is currently 0.5 up on a 130.4. That'll put him in a really comfortable position in like 13th or 14th. Let's see what he can muster.
We should be careful here. I know Proenza's been subject to commentators' curse in the past.
That Mercedes sounds so good. Heads across the finish line, and he jumps up to P14, 29.9. I'm watching. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if he has fuel in the tank, it looks like he has room for maybe another 5 laps.
And he's already 0.4 up in Sector 1.
Got those tires nice and warmed up, continue to work his way forward. I'm watching G2G and the BMW currently running P5 right now, working his way through sector 1. He's up about a 10th on his fastest lap as well. So some of these times starting to come down. No real big swings. I mean, Perenza here is in the Mercedes has got the biggest delta so far, in between 4/10, 5/10 on his fastest lap, and he's only halfway through the lap so far. Nice and clean through that apex right there, kicking up some dust. Like to see it. Get that car dirty as he heads down to the chicane.
Doing it for Dale over that chicane. Just freaking send it, mate.
Looks like he lost a bit of time through that chicane, probably his whole delta.
It went from green to red, boys. But he's picking up some time in the last hairpin here, but it's not going to be enough to really muster much movement on the leaderboards here, which is unfortunate. He was putting a really clean lap, really tidy lap together. A big mover here, though, is Roddy Toddy in the Bentley. We're looking really good. Well, he lost 4/10, commentator's curse, in the last hairpin. He's got more time here, though. How's this going to muster for him? P20 to P18. He's definitely got some more pace in him. He's fighting for the podium, for the Drivers' Championship. He's just got to put it all together.
Got a mover, boys. Pick up Sawyer in P11 running the Aston Martin. He is up 6/10 on his lap as he finishes a lap here. Got one more corner to go. If he keeps his pace up, that'll get him up into the top 10, maybe even the top 5. The Sawyer runs through the final turn, number 12 here. Gets a nice straight line to the start-finish line. He does go to P6. Great lap in the Aston there from Sawyer.
Max Verstappen complains about this speed of the F1 safety car week in and week out, but Sawyer's making that thing look quick. I love his livery. It's super goofy.
Such a good livery. I love it.
Yeah, it's a nice little homage. Simple, but everyone knows exactly what he was going for. Too good.
So nobody really, I mean, we're not getting times like I expected to be really close to our leaders here. We got about 4 minutes left in the session, so this lap plus another one, maybe one more if you get your timing right. So if you're not on a flyer as a driver right now, you do have the ability to pull off in this game, reset to the garage, put a fresh set of shoes on the car, hit back out, and try it again if something's not working out. But Sawyer's continuing to improve here, guys. He's pick him up one more time. He's about to finish another lap. He's got to go through the 2 hairpins. He's up half a second again. That'll put him up in front row territory here. Nice and tight through the hairpin. That's the way you like to see it. Keep that time low. Ran pretty wide on the exit right there. Ended up losing a little bit of time, straighten the wheel out. But he's going to send it deep for the second hairpin, do the late apex we talked about earlier, carry all that speed down the front straightaway. What can Sawyer do in the Aston? He goes P3 with a 28.8, our 3rd driver into the 28s here. Oh, excuse me, that's not right. He's the 5th driver in the 28s. Very good.
That's a great lap, and it takes patience to build a rhythm here for sure.
And as you're saying that, he's gained 3/10 in the first sector here, so he has pole if he puts a lap together. It's just got to keep it clean. And right now, he's 3, almost 4/10 together. Let's see what he can muster.
Well, like we said earlier, these front engine cars do really well in the first couple sectors here. You start getting that last sector and they really struggle. But oh, he got a lot of the curb right there and lost a lot of time. Ran it a little too tight right there and it kind of hopped the sleeping policeman. The sleeping, what do they call them in Britain? The sleeping dollies or mollies or bollies or whatever. So got him. But yeah, he's still up on his time. May improve a little bit, but he's still got quite a bit to go to P2 here. Let's see, full sends it through these chicanes, which he does.
We know he has some time to save in this first hairpin.
This is true. He had a bad exit off the first hairpin. Great point, Dom. So let's see if he can keep it tight. Don't run it out too wide. Keep it off the curb so your traction control don't bog down. And there's the delta going down. He's up 1/4 of a second. 3/10 as he heads down the straightaway into the last chicane. Keep it tight, much tighter than the first one. Can he get the power down there? He's going to lose it on the exit, which he does. Oh no, and he does improve, but just so slightly. 28.6, still P3. Got time for one more lap.
Let's take a peek at someone else in the big deltas here. Proenza, we were talking about earlier, is 4/10 up. That'll put him up several positions, maybe even to the top 10.
Proenza driving that Mercedes. I love the sound of the Mercedes as he heads down the straightaway here. Let them ponies purr. How much will he commit through the chicane? Let's take a look. Full commit on the left, little commit on the right. Could have gained a little bit more time there, but he's still up on his delta. Catching a slower car in front of him here too. Hopefully won't be a factor by the end of the lap. Nice late apex there on the hairpin. We've seen some guys take different lines through there, you know, for especially the first one there. Late apex carry the speed down. For qualifying here, I don't know if you get much time on the second one as you do hitting the apex, but I don't know. As Zeke straightens it out, what can he do? P15.
It looks like some guys up near the top have settled with their times. They've kind of made their peace and just gone to the pits and called it a session. Looking at Sawyer, Sky, and GTG.
I think Myers making a run here in that Audi.
Yeah, and
So
we're also
is,
looking at Legacy. He had 7/10 and he took that hairpin atrociously and lost literally 7/10 in one corner. That was going to be a mega lap for him. See if he can earn some back.
He's off of it here. He's out of it.
Do a little
I think
pit lane
everybody's out
entry
of it.
practice there at the very end.
Only a couple drivers still on the track setting laps. One of them's Carroll in the Audi. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to do a nice pit entry here because it's kind of a late pit entry into the track. Get one more last run to get that in if you can.
No one on track has a green. Oh, as soon as I say that, no one on track has a green delta.
Yeah, Farrell in that Audi's pushing one here. He's trying.
He wants it. He lost 4/10 in that last corner though.
Yeah, he drove it into these hairpins really hard. Loses it on the exit.
I've done that so many times where I'm on a good lap and I just want to get a little bit greedy at the last 2 turns and I sour my entire lap.
Well, there you go, boys. Qualifying looks like it's in the books. Looks like Meyer may be on a lap he just finished, does not improve. Yeah, that's it. That's your qualifying for Donington. Round 3 for Season 3 and Div 3. Your pole sitter is going to be Normando in the Mercedes. Second place, Itzpov in the Aston. Sawyer, third in the Aston. And Sky, fourth in the Audi. Pair of BMWs on row 3 with GTG and Gutierrez. Lorenzo and Coors in row 4. And Miller and Martin, row number 5. As we head into the race.
Are you surprised that no one got into the 27s?
You know, with how many people you see practicing in the server every day, I'm a little surprised. But it's a tricky track, and it really takes a strong mentality, a lot of confidence, full send to put one together here. So even though they practice, maybe they didn't bring it on race day, but you know what? 60 minutes, anything can happen from here.
I mean, but how many times as well have you gone into a practice server, you set like a 26 or a 27, you show up at the race, and best you can do is a 28 or 29?
Exactly. You can't find that time on a Sunday.
Literally me yesterday. It hurts.
It's the pressure of the moment, man. It's like any sporting event. You can practice great all day, but when the moment counts and the adrenaline's pumping, it's tough, man. So these guys got about a minute and a half to go ahead and get their setups going. If you haven't already, if you're watching Twitch, we appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube later, hit the like, subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow and like the stream. Leave us a comment. Let us know who your pick is going to be in the race today. And leave us a subscribe on YouTube. Hit all the social media channels. Of course, this race, once it's over, will be pushed over to YouTube. Join the rest of the archive footage from all the divisions, all the seasons. This is Sim Racing Alliance. We do racing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. D1 on Tuesday, D2, D3 on Wednesday. So glad you're with us. If you don't have anything cold to drink, get something cold to drink. Grab a bag of tater chips. Let's get back and watch this race. We'll get started here in just a second. 30 seconds.
I am seeing some people in the
20 seconds.
Twitch chat saying that they're hoping to join next GT3 season. We have availability now. So if you guys are watching and you're interested in joining, we're definitely
10
still
seconds.
recruiting actively. Some of the divisions are chock full, almost at capacity, but we've been moving some people around to get some extra people exposed to the league. So if you're interested, don't hesitate to join. We'll make room for you as best we can.
I just realized on the stream, everyone's got great pictures, and then I've got a banana. What's up with that?
Are you telling me that
so
that's not
funny.
how you look in real life?
No, not every day, just some days. But
Just the days that
yeah,
you want to do your makeup. Got it.
just the days I want to do my makeup. So yeah, so we're going. Drivers are rolling out on their pace laps here. Nice chance to get the tires nice and warmed up. Make sure you got the right fuel in the car. You know, so let's talk about this for a second. From a driver's perspective, starting the race, you know, you got to add a lot of fuel to the car. You got to make sure your tire pressures are right, so you adjust them for the temperature, so you don't get overinflated tires. But are there any other adjustments that you guys look at a track like this where handling is such a big deal? Because I'm thinking things like, you know, tires, or excuse me, fuel changes the weight distribution in the car. You know, it can make some cars more understable, some cars more overstable, depending on what kind of car you have. Do you plan for that and make the adjustment in your setup somewhere, or do you just kind of run with your brunk type stuff?
I wish I had. I'll tell you what I wish I did last night is turn up traction control for the opening laps of the race, because I really wasn't used to the new weight distribution, and on a lot of these corners coming over crests going uphill, you tend to oversteer once you make it over the crest, and if you burn those tires up too early, you're gonna feel it for the rest of the race. So I wish I turned up traction control last night for the opening laps.
To kind of mirror that, I did turn up my traction control and the car felt awful. I just had no grip at the opening stages of the race, and it really caught me off guard to the point where I was driving very, very timidly, and it just wasn't all that conducive for opening lap racing. I was very skittish at best, but ultimately it comes down to the driver. How comfortable are you in those conditions? How much have you practiced with the full fuel load? A lot of drivers just kind of hot lap, just do qualifying pace. Yeah, we're gonna see who gets called out in the opening laps here, who practiced and who didn't.
All right, they're moving up to go double file for the start of the race. The way the starts work, everybody gets in a position, double file. They hold a speed, a predetermined speed, until they get to the start-finish line. Once the leader hits the start-finish line, it's green flag for everybody. I wonder if we're going to have anybody stuck in the hairpin when we go green flag racing here. That can make for an interesting battle in the back here. But it's going to be Normando leading them down to the line. It's Pav, Sawyer, Sky, GTG, Gutierrez, as everybody gets in a position here as we get set for racing at Donington Park. Here we go. Green light is almost out. I thought that was the line. There's the line right there. No, is that it? No.
It's letting them all go
There it
around the
is.
corner. There it goes.
There we go. Late start. We are underway at Donington Park. Looks like Normando's gets a great launch. Nice single file behind him. Couple battles about row 3 back. Nice and clean on the start so far. Looks like everybody's holding their ground. We got Sky going side by side with Sawyer. With Gutierrez. Everybody goes single file behind it back to about P18, P19. We head around starting lap number 1. Nice clean start.
The first front 10 are out and away, and they're good to go. Normando has built a second gap over OMG. It's Pav in P2. Everyone else is single file through. As Kyle Martin has a moment off. Get back on track, buddy. There he goes, files back in. There's a huge gaggle of cars behind. Proenza on the inside there, teammates with Kyle Martin, so they're being a little generous to one another. Kyle does sort back in front.
Got a move for P3 up front. GTG was looking under the inside of Sawyer heading into the chicane, thought better of it, backed out, but he's still all over the back of that Aston. BMW versus Aston down to the hairpin, battle 3 or 4 cars back as well. Looks like it's going to be Gutierrez and Coors.
You can see the cars sorting around the hairpin. It's very tight through there. As a car absolutely surges through the braking zone, Dominic caught that. Can you give us a replay?
Yep. Looks like in a hairpin.
Just straight through the braking zone. Minimal damage despite the absolutely puckered moment there. Back to your race leader here. We have Normando looking on the back of his wing, 3/10 behind his OMG. It's Pop right on his tail.
Yeah, not able to, Normando not able to pull out a huge lead here. It's Pob closed the gap back down lap 1. We're side by side for P5 back here. Sky and Coors still going after it. Sky's still holding the position. I think he got that back from Coors actually, as Coors was leading the previous lap. Nice little battle here for P5. Both these guys are keeping it nice and clean. On the hardest part of the track, the overtake too. Going side by side to some of those corners is kind of sketchy. But Coors looks like he's going to line up a move down into the chicane here. Getting the nice little slipstream down the straightaway. He's going to look up the inside, think better of it, pull in through as GTG is running a nice, Sky is running a nice defensive line here. I'll get my names right in a second. That's letting Gutierrez and Lorenzo both catch up here. Lorenzo is going to send it on the inside of Gutierrez. Almost gets into the back of Coors right there, but is able to keep the braking under check. Fall in line. Nice clean overtake there from Lorenzo. Get past Gutierrez.
Brave on the brakes from Lorenzo. Almost miscalculated, but luckily it falls inside. Oh, Duran catches an absolute moment.
Picture in picture. Oh no. What happened at the first hairpin? Is that a BBC Bentley we have spun?
I think that's a Roddy Toddy Bentley like teammate. Not sure who it is, to be honest with you. Yeah, Roddy Toddy and P30 looks like.
Oh, that's not good for our championship leader, boys. Not what you want to see.
Roddy Toddy into the pits, probably for repairs. It's a little early. He's going to have to pit again when the pit window rolls around.
That is devastating. That's almost a race ruiner right there. Kudos to him for going into the pits and getting the car repaired, though. Nothing worse than being a hazard on track with a broken car.
We got GTG getting really close to Sawyer here for P3. GTG has pulled out a gap from Sky. I'm not sure if there was a moment there and we just missed it, but Sky's dropped back about 4 seconds and he's kind of leading the train behind him here. Everybody running single file in that group. GTG going to kind of peek around the outside, try to get a good run off the corner here. Our leader's getting pretty close together too. Itzpov is now right on the back of Normando, as you can see there, going through the hairpin. There's a couple little two-car battles here for the top 5. Itzpov staying right in the slipstream of Normando. Now, it's hard to make a move in this first 2/3 of the lap, but if you can stay right there and get a good run on him down to the hairpins, that'd be the way to do it. But everybody from P5 down is all over the back of each other here.
Duran catches another Audi moment, spinning at that hairpin. That looks like it's going to be a very high traffic incident area for the whole race. I can't look away from OMG. It's Pav on the back of Normando fighting for P1. This is the closest our P1 battle has ever been in any race that I've witnessed.
Watch Coors just do an overtake on Sky there through turn 4. Great move there. He's going to pull out. These two have been battling back and forth for the last couple laps here. But yeah, the battle for the lead is getting intense. Looks like Normando's in that Mercedes able to pull out quite a bit of a gap on the straightaways, but then Pav closes him right back up in the corner. So Pav able to get that Aston working well for him. We need to talk to him, get some tips. But oh, he runs a little bit wide right there.
We'll give them a little break after the gap has grown to a second. As we see Dan Meyer strong through the braking zone. Gets a little kiss on the back from Gutierrez as he gets by. And Meyer's able to hold the position.
That's how you got to make moves here. You got to dive into those hairpins like that and hope the other guy sees you coming and leaves a little bit of room. Meyer, nice clean pass there, gives him up P8.
Meyer's now leading a train of 5 cars all the way back from Gutierrez, Miller, Legacy, and Chunk.
Meyer's not done. He's going to try to get past Lorenzo here. He's going to stick it up the inside, turn 2. He's going to be out of position for turn 3, so he thinks better of it, backs back in through the Craner curves here. But now he's under threat from Gutierrez. Might have backed off a little too much. Gutierrez under threat from Miller right there.
And that
Miller
invites
thinking about
Legacy
making a
behind.
dive. Yeah, these guys are all over the top of each other, so it's going to take them a few laps to sort this out, let the fastest cars through. But great battling back here for about P10. And Gutierrez running P9, Miller P10 back here. Love that livery on the BMW for Miller right there, that Ghost Rider scheme. That's cool stuff. So let's see what they can do down the straightaways into the hairpins here. This is where we see a lot of the overtakes actually happen, not just try to happen. So
It's becoming a driver favorite overtake zone, and it's a tricky braking zone for sure. So it's no surprise that we're getting a little paint trading going on at the end of the straight here.
yeah, well, it all comes down to how well you get through that chicane leading up to this first hairpin, right? If you have a good chicane, then you're in a good spot. If you have a bad chicane, especially with cars this tight on your rear, you are, I mean, you're in constant threat of being overtaken if that guy behind you gets a good run. So I like the layout of the track right there. Kind of creates a good overtaking opportunity as they continue to work on their way.
A little while ago, we saw what looks like Proenza in the picture-in-picture go around and have a moment. Was that right, Durant?
Yeah, it looks like he spun out. I wasn't able to put the replay back far enough to see exactly what happened, but it looked like he was doing some early donuts in the grass. The race hasn't ended yet, sir. We saved that for later.
Tell you what, Coors and Sky here in P5, P6 have been exchanging positions every lap back and forth. Right now, Coors got him back in the turn 1 right there, but it seems like that Sky in the Audi just has so much speed down those straightaways that he gets it back. Oh no, an Audi goes off. The Sky goes off the track, loses it in turn 7, or excuse me, turn 8 right there. And actually, that was a weird off. I don't know if you have a replay of it there.
Pulling it up right now.
Doug. He turned in and then turned right back out. So he just got on the curb and just a little too much correction. The car gripped and shot him off to the left side over the curb. He's going to end up losing quite a few positions as another driver's off. It's Gutierrez. Gutierrez in the BMW back in live has had a moment. He has dropped 5 positions down to actually no, he's dropped 7 positions down to P15.
Oh, he
It's
just
like he lost through the
lost
chicane.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely,
no.
and then just kind of driving, doing some landscaping on the right side, and this immense speed down this straight. Everyone just able to get right past him.
So we've gone through the honeymoon phase of our tires here. We're kind of in that graining phase now, where if you got your pressures right, you're having a good day. If you got your pressures wrong, you're having a bad day. And a little clunk right there. Yeah, just thank you, sir. I'll have that position. Have a good day.
That is
Doing
Sky.
that for Dale for sure.
Probably Sky nursing his really overheated tires after going off in the grass, and Whitting Jr. is able to get past him pretty quick. Now Sky's under duress from Kyle Martin behind.
Oh, that's happened. We've got a new leader, by the way. GTG and the BMW has taken P1. And he is driven up from, I don't know, did we miss something there? Did
We had to have missed
Normando
something.
have an incident?
Dropped, I think Normando had a little moment, and he dropped from P1 to P4, I think. But we missed it.
Normando's now sitting in
Pav.
P2.
Yeah,
He's already fought back, yeah.
Wow, so we missed that. We were watching the midfield battle here. But our leader dropped down P2. GTG is now the new race leader with a 4-second gap. Wow.
Sky's going back at him again in the braking zone. Little switchback action. That was super clean. Now they're going to have to duke it out to the next one.
Traction.
Sky does able to capitalize on that lack of traction and able to get to the next braking zone first. This is going to be a close battle all race in these braking zones.
It just looks like Whitting there in the BMW is just having a hard time getting traction down out of those slower corners, but I think he's got the speed here in the S's, so let's see if he can make a move. And you see how much speed he carries to the middle of that corner and just can't get the grip on the exit. So maybe a little bit of a rear grip loss once the tires come up to temperature here. We'll see if he closes back up to these high speeds.
You know, the track's so narrow, too.
Oh, big bump there. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry,
Sky
Don,
has a
didn't mean to cut you off.
moment.
Sky went surfing over that bump right there and lost the position. He's about to lose another one to Martin here. Martin thinks better of being nice and patient there. That's the risk. You want to take as much of these curbs as you can, but if you go a little too far, man, it'll send your car airborne, and that's what happened to Sky. He almost does it again right there.
Guy needs to just kind of settle down from his previous moment. He's going to be under attack again from, he's taking a defensive line against Kyle Martin and the Mercedes behind.
That's going to give him a bad exit, though. This is just like Canada's last chicane, right? I mean, you get a bad exit right there. Let's see if Martin can get a run. Doesn't really get one there. That was a great drive from Sky there, keeping his speed up on that defensive line. What a battle.
He's still putting the pressure on, too, so he has the burden of defending against Martin behind and trying to attack Whitting Jr. ahead so that he doesn't get too far away from him.
Meanwhile, up front, It's Pav has lost another position to Sawyer now. Sawyer up to P3. It's Pav down to P4. So It's Pav in that Aston really starting to struggle with the car a little bit as he's continuing to drop down the order. He's losing a lot of time here. Wonder if he's got something wrong with the car.
What's going on in the picture-in-picture, Duran? What's going on there?
Looks like we might have had Proenza and Sarver come together in the chicane, and they did a little double pirouette. One for the fans.
This is not Dancing with the Stars, boys. This is sim racing. Although, if I were to claim this is Dancing with the Stars, maybe my wife would tune in.
I think possible storyline here. It's Pav in the Aston is losing a bunch of time here. His last lap was a second and a half slower than anybody around him, and he's continuing to lose time to Lorenzo here in P5. There's a little bit of damage on the right front of that Aston Martin, but he is.
You're definitely right. We went to the hood cam, and it's a bouncing. He's got some damage.
Yeah, that car's going to be running slow. He's losing considerable time around the track. So It's Pav, who started P2 in this race after 15 minutes, is not looking good. He's going to try to limp that thing around to the pit stop, maybe get a little bit of repairs if he can. But
now we're looking at Sawyer, who's attacking Normando, and Normando on that shot just coming at us there, his hood is also messed up. So maybe Normando and Pav had a little moment together battling because they were right next to each other at the very beginning. And now Sawyer's just picking up the mess here.
Yeah, that would make that would explain why they went from P1, P2 down to 2 and 3 there. They must have had an incident, came together and crashed or something. So unfortunately we missed it, didn't get to see it. But you're right, Sawyer here is all over the back of that Mercedes right there.
GTG is just grinning from ear to ear. He's now built almost a 6-second gap and running off into the sunset now in his BMW. He couldn't be in a more better position to just kind of drive his race and hope to just build a mega gap for the rest of the grid.
Tell you what, though, GTG's last lap was a second slower than Normando's in second, so we could see that gap close over the next 15 minutes or so.
I think you're right, Dom. I think Normando's going to try to run him down, but the problem is Normando's running away from Sawyer right now. This race might fall into Sawyer's hand if he can keep that speed up and get around Normando here. But it's so hard to overtake unless you get a clean exit out of these corners. That's what I like about GT3 racing. It's not about DRS and ERS and all the other gadgets and gizmos that let you do overtakes. This is just pure old school. Get your slipstream, get a good exit, make the pass, and sometimes you got to use the edges of the car to make it work.
We have some love for you, Chris, in the chat already. We have, yo, Chris, new commentator? This is Chris's second week commentating for SRA, but yeah, definitely glad to have him in as a part of the community here.
Yeah, man, checks in the mail. Appreciate that. So moving on down the road. Yeah, Sawyer, man, all over the back of Normando, but GTG had a pretty good lap last lap. And, Doug, to your point, being out front, running consistent, sometimes that's a blessing and a curse too. I mean, if your car's feeling good, you just kind of turn hot laps, have a good day. If you're battling the car, sometimes it's easy to kind of lose a little bit of concentration and have a bad lap. There's a little battle into the chicane right there. They both go off.
That's Coors and Pav. Neither of them wanted to concede. It looks like they have the same livery too. Are they teammates? Team orders went out the window if that's the case. They said, we're battling it out like nobody's business. They left very similar liveries, but I'm not going to speculate. That being said, all of them slowed down immensely, and that brought in other drivers into the mix, like Legacy, Miller, and Dan Meyer, all right there.
Yeah, they're moving up quick here. They lost a couple positions there because they didn't want to concede the position, just like you said, Doug. And yeah, nice little 5-car battle here. This is probably going to shake out. I think we got some drivers that are faster, not running in front of this pack. So about 7-8 minutes till the pit stop window opens up here. There's a dive right there. Looks like Miller's going to try to go to Big Bang coming off the corner, and they might do it again as I head up the turn number 7 here. Wow. That wasn't very friendly at all. Door-to-door bang. There's a car off behind. Who is that?
It's Chunk in an Aston Martin.
Let's see what happened.
So that was your typical accordion effect. They all kind of went for the same spot right there, and unfortunately Chunk was the one that got there last and kind of got knocked off the track, and he's still struggling now. He's getting overtaken by Whitting and Aoki here, heading down to the chicane.
Side by side.
Nice
Good
and clean
stuff.
through there. That's hard to do right there. Both those drivers did good. But he's going to lose a couple positions for being nice here. Maybe even 3. There's a Lorenzo's going to try to center the inside of Aoki and the inside of Chunk. Gets 2 positions there.
What a
He
move.
loses it on the exit. Now Aoki, we're 3 wide down this last straightaway, heading to the last hairpin. Chunk backs out of it. It's going to be Lorenzo under Aoki. Can he finish the move and get 2 positions here? It looks like he's going to do it.
That's a highlight reel move right there. I'm giving him the absolute kudos for that one. That was mega. But who's going to be braver on the brakes here? Oh, that's close.
I think they're being ginger, they're being nice, but you can lose positions that way. They all can settle down. Aoki gets 2 positions there. Chunk's going to settle for P16. I'm sorry, no, Lorenzo got 2 positions there. My apologies. And Aoki got 1. There's Sky running off through the grass right there. What was that all about?
Sky and Gutierrez go have a moment, but he just hits the curb. His car is just being brutalized by the curbs this race.
You know, I don't want to make assumptions, but, you know, we know that a qualifying setup's different than a race setup, and, you know, you can only run certain setups so long before the car just starts giving up, and we've seen it happen. I've done it myself. I mean, it's possible. So, you gotta build for the race, and some of these guys look like they're falling off.
Yeah, and if you take a really aggressive setup in qualifying and you bring that trim into the race, you might be bottoming out the car over the curbs with the extra fuel load, making your car a little bit heavier, a little bit more awkward. It's definitely risk versus reward on whether you want that pace or that longevity. We're on board here with Flo in the Bentley. His teammate, Toddy Robbie, was the victim at the beginning of the race, who's climbing his way back up through the grid after an early pit stop. But Flo finds himself nice in P8, chasing down Legacy in the McLaren in front, and contesting with Pav, who's been the center of attention for many parts of this race. And he's going to have a look. Really clean through there. This track is super narrow, and there's really some lacking brake markers, especially one laying in the middle of the road right there. Braking in these areas can be quite difficult. You have to really trust your track knowledge. It looks like he has a good run out of here, though.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity to try to make something happen. He's going to send the Bentley up the inside. Not yet. That Bentley don't like to change directions like that.
And Legacy says, I'm just going to send it.
You ain't getting past me. Not going to happen. But, yeah, now Flo's getting overtaken by Pav. Ooh, almost turned in on him there a little bit.
Kyle Martin's going to peek in, too.
Race is not over. Martin's going to try to look around the outside here into the hairpin. The second hairpin is going to settle and try the old switchback. Not going to work because Flo's going to shut the door. They head down the straightaway. He's going to look on the inside for turn 1. He's got enough there. That's overlap. That counts. There
What
he
a
goes.
move.
Got the position. Nice job. Nice job. Being patient, got the move done.
Gutierrez is now behind Flo, just waiting to clean up the mess here. He wants to be in that top 10. Further up the grid, we have Sawyer in P3, about 6/10 behind. P2, Normando, you see him a little bit further ahead.
So let's talk strategy for a second. If you're someone like Sawyer in the Aston here, you've been stuck behind Normando for the last 10 minutes or so at least, and you're not losing time, but you're not gaining time. You're watching GTG drive down the road. Pit stop window opens here in about 2 laps. Do you go for the undercut or do you go for the overcut? Or is it one of those things you kind of just do what the guy in front of you doesn't do?
I think at this level, it's more the latter. Do what the guy in front of you doesn't do.
I think you can just.
The undercut felt pretty powerful.
I think it just boils down to how you're feeling. If you're putting in some of your best laps, even though the guy's like right in front of you, then you can stay out as long as they're not slowing you down too bad. But in this case for Sawyer, it looks like his pace is just a little bit more, almost half a second to a full second faster per lap, as we have a little bit of lag there. That was kind of scary. Then the car in front, you definitely need to pit early if the driver in front's not going to pit early. That way you can kind of get some fresh air and extract as much pace out of your car as possible.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell if he's being held up now or not, right? Because he is running the same laps as Normando in front of him. But yeah, as a driver, sometimes you don't want a car in front of you. Sometimes you actually do want a car in front of you. Sometimes having a car in front of you is actually...
We have a double off. What happened?
We're both going to the replay here. Kyle Martin.
Oh, he got loose on the tarmac.
That's unfortunate.
The front bit, the back didn't like it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that was bad news for Flo right there. Just wrong place, wrong time. He got caught up in that, so that'll happen though. That's racing. That's why we don't ghost cars. You gotta avoid them. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do there.
Gutierrez under duress from Whitting Jr. And then right behind that's Lorenzo. These two BMWs are going to be equally matched, but Lorenzo is going to be hanging out in the background saying, "Yes, please," as Whitting Jr. sends it up the inside.
I like that move from Lorenzo right there. Kind of hit the brakes just maybe about 5 meters early, just long enough to tuck into the apex there behind him before, actually that was Gutierrez, I'm sorry, before Lorenzo could get there. I like that move, tucking in, blocking the apex. That was good.
These drivers, despite being in Division 3, which is our rookie division, are showing a lot of prowess in the different driving styles. You're showing some defensive moves, some offensive moves, and they're trying their best to do so in a way that's not going to collect their opponent, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think racecraft across the board is great. D3 is putting on a great show. The pace is where it starts to fall off, and that's where you start seeing D1, D2 pick up a little bit more pace. But racecraft-wise, these guys are putting on a great show, you know, and it's a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to call. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well.
The pit window has opened. It's been open for about 30 seconds. Duran, can you remind everybody what the pit requirements are?
So pit requirements in Sim Racing Alliance official GT3 Team Series races include 1 liter of fuel to take, and that's about it. You don't have to take new tires, it's just a splash and dash. So it should take about 3.2 seconds from the time you turn off your engine to the time you turn it back on and take off out of the pits.
So we've got an overtake in the pits, boys. Sawyer and Lorenzo Sawyer and Normando both pitted at the same time. Normando is elected to repair his damage here, and he has had an extended pit stop. He's still sitting in the pit lane. Sawyer's going to get a nice clean P2, and Normando's going to drop a long way down this field here.
That almost might be the better strategy. His car looked pretty banged up, and he was pacing about a second a lap slower. If he's in the pits early, he might have enough time to make up that additional time in the pits.
But he's leaving now, and it looks like he's going to rejoin. Came in P2, he's going to come out somewhere around P15 with a clean, fresh car. Or maybe he got tires. I don't know. His car's got repaired, so he's got yeah. Look, oh, that Mercedes looks sharp now.
Oh yeah,
So,
they even put it through the paint booth. Looking
give
good.
him a car wash while he's sitting there. Yeah, if you go to the TV one cam real quick, Doug, get some nice close-ups on that thing. It looks sharp, man. It looks really good. So Normando's going to make a run, try to do the recovery drive here. He's got 32 minutes to get as far as he can down the road here.
Speaking of recovery drives, though, Gutierrez hits a drive-through penalty.
Oh, no.
He was contesting for the top 10, and now that's going to be putting him back enormously.
It's one thing you can't have happen. You know, the Sim Racing Alliance GT3, we don't have safety cars. We don't have restarts or anything like that. So, I mean, you got to... It's all out pace, 1 hour. Get as far as you can down the road. First one across the line wins. So any type of, you know, penalty or anything can kill your race. Oh, man, Normando's getting raced hard here by Legacy and Thomas. He goes for two, does a couple wheel bangs into the hairpin there. Did two overtakes into the hairpin, but boy, they made him work for it. That was a great... Look at this. You see the late little lunge there.
Moving under braking, yeah.
And then he gets the second one here. He gets two overtakes in that one corner. So Normando's on his run back to the front. So he's only a minute and 20 seconds behind the leader. I'm going to keep an eye on that delta, see how far he can make it here. I got a feeling because the leaders haven't even pitted yet. GTG is yet to pit. So this is still anybody's race.
Decour's putting up pressure on to Dan Meyer in P2. Duran, can you give us some feedback on who's committed to their pit stops and who hasn't?
So far we have GTG is the leader, and he's pitted. But from there, Dan Meyer and Coors both haven't pitted.
They
Sawyer
both just dived in.
Oh, this is going to be spicy. Who's going to come out first? This is where it shows who practiced their pit stop. I'll tell you what.
GTG is having, sorry to cut you off, Dom. DVD is having a long pit stop. I don't know if he's taking tires or what. He is still sitting in his pit box. They just dropped the jack now. He's just now leaving. That gap he had as the leader is gone because look, right behind him is Coors. That's your first and second place right there, bumper to bumper coming out of the pits. We got a race, boys.
Oh, and GTG is being very generous for the cars coming down the straight as he enters. But yeah, now Coors is right on him, and Dan Meyer is able to catch up a little bit despite his long pit stop. He's right behind still, despite having probably an extra 5-second gap he had to make up. That's huge for him.
We have such a huge range of pit times here. The fastest pit stops belong to Gutierrez and Sawyer, both time stopped, total 5 seconds. Total time in the pit, though, is 29 seconds for each of them. And that is the fastest by a country mile, it looks like. So those guys definitely paid off in the pit window.
We have
GTG came out right behind. Sorry, GTG came out right behind Wolfman here. He's losing more time, and Coors Meyer's right behind him. So all this is playing into Normando's hand too, who's running further back. He's only about 18 seconds behind these guys. Oh, and there he goes. No! He just sends them.
He got absolutely murdered.
Wolfman is an absolute victim. Wolfman just minding his own business. He's sitting up in P4 at the time, not pitted yet, and then just gets plowed off the track.
I think I saw Jimmy Broadbent do something very similar to that in that same corner one time.
Please no Punterino, he says.
Man.
Wolfman has to lick his wounds now and crawl to the pit lane. And if I were him, I'd fix my rear diffuser. That's going to feel awful. But because of that, Decours is now going to be contesting GTG all that more because GTG's front arrow is going to be damaged, crunched from hitting that Bentley.
Again, while all this is going on, I'm watching Normando. He's 15 seconds now behind these guys. So 3 seconds is already gone in that one lap, 28 minutes to go. Wouldn't
Another
that be a
penalty.
drive?
PBJ, another penalty. Whitting Jr. picking up a stop go 30.
Oh, that kills your race. That's pit
Stadium
stop plus
testing.
30 seconds.
So for the viewers, you pick up a drive-through penalty where you just stop in your pit stall and then drive off, and you'll get that for track cuts if you get 3 major track cuts during the race. And if you speed in the pit lane, then you'll take a 30-second stop-go penalty, which is far, far worse. Not to say the first one isn't bad, but it'll really it'll really dampen the mood.
Watching Normando try to get around Sky here, trying to keep the momentum up. Sky's doing a really good job defensively driving against Normando. But Normando's just got so much speed in that Mercedes. Can he get there by the hairpin? He's going to fake the move on the inside. And it does cause Sky to run wide. It worked. I don't know if Sky was given in the position there or not, but Normando did get the position on the inside. I love that little fake juke that you can do just to get the guy's head in front of you, but it looked like Sky was actually giving him that there. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he did because he just knows. I mean, you're not racing Normando. He's so much faster. No point in taking each other out over something that's going to last, a lap on this track.
Well, you talked about some of the last people I need to pit to get out of the way. Rodrix was in like P2, and now he's in the pits getting passed significantly. Wolfman still needs to pit. But someone who's got to be really happy right now is Sawyer. He won with a 30-second gap after pit stops.
Sawyer's pitted already?
Yes,
yeah.
He has. He has
wow.
because of GTG, Coors, and Normando's snafus. He's now 30 seconds clear of the grid, and he's just driving his race. Admittedly,
Let's go Sawyer.
Yeah, he's got one of the best laps in the race, also with a 28.9. Only a few drivers have a time that fast, Normando being one of the others. But Normando has to clear 40, 50 seconds to get back to Sawyer.
There you go. I was looking at timing. My mistake. I thought Sawyer had not pitted yet, but yeah, great job. Great way to position the car on track. With 25 minutes to go, that is a healthy budget of time to have between you and second place. So just keep it on the road. You'll have a good finish here.
Doug, did you make that early Sawyer call?
And I don't want to toot my own horn, but Sawyer and I have been hitting the coaching sessions, and last race, I think he finished P3, and this race is looking like maybe P1, so you heard it here first, folks. Douglas Mitchell coaching sessions, $20 an hour. Come and get it while it's hot. The proof is in the pudding. We have P3 and P1 back to back. Let's go.
Let's go, man. I don't know, maybe you get a Doug coaching session and you get promoted to D2. I don't know. Maybe that's the way it works.
Yeah, it could be come back to bite you. Yeah, no, you're not kidding. That promotion does sting quite a bit. You kind of get tossed from the top of the pack into the either mid or the bottom tier of the next grid. So I'm never complaining about that situation, though. It really pushes our people to get better, which is great.
Nice little battle here for P11 on track. Big gaggle of cars as you pick it up here. We got all kinds of cars tripping over each other here. It looks like Kevin Martin and Proenza just got past Aoki. Aoki is struggling here.
Oh, the McLaren slams into the wall in the background.
I didn't see who that was, unfortunately.
It was a white McLaren. It might have been a back marker, but whoever it was just got absolutely annihilated.
I don't see any yellow flags either. The stewards must have missed it as well.
I think it's Pirello. Pirello P27 car 888. Yeah, he's struggling to get that car around.
Someone needs to check him for the amount of G's that he hit that wall with. He needs to go get into the blue tent.
He's kind of just driving it around on the grass right now.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on. I might be heading back to the pits, but
Needs to go get concussion protocol checked. Yeah, poor guy.
Oh, he is.
His car
He's
probably
struggling.
feels terrible.
Hire this man for edge trimming your lawn.
yeah, he's heading to the pits.
He's cutting some clean lines on that thing. Oh boy.
Yeah, limp it
I'll tell
back, slap some duct tape on that thing, and get back out there, buddy.
I'll tell you
Do
what.
it Alpha Tauri style.
A little more than duct tape.
Norman down now all over the back of Chunk. Oh, and a lap car right there on the apex of the chicane for both those guys. That was sketchy for a moment. He does make the move happen thanks to that lap car. Holy moly, that was close.
We're on board with Kyle Martin, looking off the rear wing of Tony Proenza as a McLaren is in the gravel. 5 cars consecutively, all within 0.5 of each other. This is going to get hairy down to this chicane section.
Oh. Pav and Clinceris coming together. Pav not paying anything for it. Clinceris, trip to the beach in the sand.
You hate to see it. Lorenzo loves that braking zone. He's gotten so many passes done there. As he passes Aoki in the Nissan.
Oh, big nudge there, and Martin gets knocked out of the way.
He is not going to like that. He's going to be on comms with Proenza screaming at him. But Lorenzo's going to try and have a moment. Kyle's squeezing him real good. Kyle's been brave in that braking zone of turn 1. Able to hold his position. But Lorenzo's getting a good run up his inside now. Oh, boy. Kyle kind of pinches him a little bit. Lorenzo takes the grass. Everyone else filters back. Kyle builds himself a little bit of breathing room.
Lorenzo running some very defensive driving here. As Aoki's all over the back of him. Those two are look at that right on the back of him here. Lorenzo might be driving tilted here a little bit.
Gutierrez, after a drive-through penalty, still in 15th. Oh, Lorenzo, get on the track! Get on the track!
Aoki's going to dive it up the inside, up the turn 8 up here. Maybe a little conservative there. Probably could have thrown it a little bit harder, but there goes that white McLaren in the grass again.
Duran, we had 3 simultaneous
Pirello's going to meet him
flags.
at the chicane here. Meet him at the chicane. All of them come together. Pirello's got to go through. Pirello's struggling.
Poor guy. We had several yellow flags. We had McGinnis with a yellow flag as he drives over a road sign. Michelli with a yellow flag. My goodness. Lots of people in the latter portions of this race. Maybe it's some fatigue.
Yeah, this is right about the point of the race where you're looking up at the timer going, all right, it's almost over, right? And then, oh no, Martin goes off on the front straightaway. Martin got on the curb there and just lost everything, and luckily it didn't knock it in the wall. Lorenzo's going to drive all the way down, get the move done in turn 1. Not sure what happened to Martin there. I think he just got on the curb and the car just jumped over in the grass and he had to get out of the throttle right there. But these guys are racing hard, man.
They're hungry for it. Kyle Martin's a new addition to the D3. He was racing at D2 last season. And he's trying to really make a name for himself out here. And as he does so, Aoki tries to show the inside. Kyle says, I'm not having any of it. Almost collects Lorenzo.
Wide. Yeah, we know Kyle's a clean driver. He's been around for a while. Good to see him having some good battles here in D3, which is what the division's seeding's all about. He's looking up the inside. Aoki's going to get there, but Kyle's going to have the preferred line into the chicane here.
Who blinks first? What a... I couldn't even do that. That defensive line.
Gutierrez getting in there. Gutierrez said, thank you very much. I'll take that position. He's going to sit on the inside. Nice, clean racing here. Who's going to have the traction down the back straightaway here? It looks like it's going to be Gutierrez.
By a mile.
Drops down to P15. All that's letting Pav catch up. Nope, that's a lap car behind. I'm sorry. That's Toddy, our championship leader in his Bentley, just turning laps there behind him. So
he's licking his wounds after that early crash out, but he's in P25, just kind of cruising around. But yeah, Gutierrez is now sicking his sights on Kyle Martin's rear bumper here. I'm gonna go back to.
Cody's teammate Flo is all over the back of Legacy here as they head up to turn number 8. These two are really close to each other as well.
Duran, you mind pick that up? P10 Flow looking at Legacy. I'm looking at Normando, looking at Miller here. P6 and P5.
Block. Nice positioning of the car by Miller there, not letting Normando get anywhere near. Now he's going to throw it to the left side for the next corner. Oh, another little move there.
Little
Normando
kiss.
gives him a little bump, says, hey, yep, thank you, sir.
Tapping the Ghost Rider, letting him know.
Look at Miller running these defensive lines here. I mean, oh man, this is tough. Look at how much more speed Normando has through the middle of the corner there. Don't sit in there. That's a risky spot.
Yeah.
And he turned him. He turned him. No.
Right into the spin cycle.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Watch out for Pirello coming through.
Miller's not done. He's driving through the dirt over there trying to get back on. The runoff's pretty wide, but he's now he's done. He rejoins behind. I thought he was going to rejoin ahead of these guys.
Really generous when rejoining the track. That good for him. That's good sportsmanship. You don't want to ruin someone else's race at your expense. Legacy is off now too. Let's catch what he did. Duran and I are right on the same line. That's too funny.
Oh, he got the curb.
That snap oversteer. That McLaren is really sketchy around here.
That move from Normando, though, man. We all kind of watching that kind of cringed at the same moment watching it happen because that was brave. That was an aggressive move, and unfortunately, it did not work out for.
Oh, Gutierrez has a moment and slides all the way across the track.
Come on, boys. 15 minutes left in this race. Hold it together. Stay off the curbs. The curbs look deadly to everybody right now.
Oh, Gutierrez just launched off of curb.
Serving a drive-through and being in P15, now in P16 after that moment, is still an absolute testament to his driving. He just needs to put the last 15 minutes of this race together, and he's going to be looking at a really nice finish. Kyle Martin's been under duress this entire race, though.
He's holding his own, though, man. Holding his own. Running hard.
Aoki in that Nissan is familiarizing himself with the bumper again.
As a driver behind gets so frustrated.
Yeah, especially if you can't make a move. You know you're faster. What ends up happening, sometimes you end up making contact because the guy in front of you slows down quicker or something. You try to avoid that, and that's where you start losing time. But
exactly what happened with Norman.
He's going to the inside. He's there, and he makes contact.
Oh,
gosh.
That was a little aggressive, but at the end of the day, everyone survives. But Kyle Martin loses like 3 positions in one move there.
Yeah, Martin kind of turned down in there, and Naoki was there, and it just, that's what happens. But I hate to see it too. So, 3/4 of the way through this race, 15 minutes to go. Just a quick race summary here. Your race leader, Sawyer, right now with a 25-second gap to second place. The nice battles throughout the rest of the race here. Biggest movers so far, Dan Meyer up to P4, started P11. Chunk up to P7, started P13. And biggest losers, got to go with Pob and Gutierrez, starting in the top P1 or P2, P6. They're down in the top 15, 16 right now. So some good races for some bad races for others. Got to get to the end, though.
I'm not too familiar with the D3 teams, but I'm pretty certain that Sawyer and Chunk are teammates, and we're on board with Chunk right now in P7. Sawyer being in P1, that's going to be a huge points haul for them. That is the thick boys. What am I looking at my picture in picture, Duran?
Your picture, I believe my connection to the server just died, so it looks like you're looking at the Donington Park parking lot.
I was going to say, those are not some race cars.
This is like Sunday afternoon in the meadow.
Let me tell you though, this is not the 24 hours of lemons. Okay, all those cars can stay where they belong. Car number 187 is just fondly looking off into the distance. I will go ahead and get rid of your picture in picture for the time being until you bring it back. Let me know when you're good to go.
If you need to, I can try to share mine as well. I'm not sure if you can pick it up or not, but in any case,
The closest
Normando's
battle
on a
on track
P5.
right now. In Normando, back up in P5. He is holding the fastest lap with a 28.5. That's mega quick. Last lap was a 29.3, which is the fastest lap on track by like almost a full second. But the closest gap right now is, again, Kyle Martin under duress from Pav and Gutierrez behind. Excuse, sir, can I have some more? He says.
Oh, he got a bad exit there. Pav's going to send. Oh, this is, oh, I thought he was going to do it again. Oh, I thought it was going to happen twice for Martin.
Don't curse him like that, PBJ. Don't do this.
I kind of had like, just, flashbacks for a second when that went on. Yeah, Martin's got to just, come on, man. 12 minutes left to go. Keep it on the track. Get there. Get to the end. You're doing great.
We have another yellow flag. It's Chunk.
Chunk's gone off. And he's still stopped. What happened to Chunk?
I don't know. I just went to him and, oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, no. Was that the white McLaren?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Chunk had a moment. He tried to skirt across the track and was met swiftly with a white McLaren of justice. Do not cross the racing track, ladies and gentlemen. Try and come at alongside the track. Do not try and turn on a perpendicular piece there.
Hey, that moves Martin up to lucky P13. So one position down, a bunch of positions up. But Martin is still under threat here from Pav and Gutierrez. Of course, both these guys, very fast drivers. Martin's holding him off, though. Look at Pav sitting around the outside. He's going to peak, maybe do the over-under. Can't quite get there.
Kyle's doing some pretty heavy defensive maneuvers to try and him behind, compromising some momentum. It might cost him here, but Pav's being respectful. He's also been taken out in this race. He wants to earn this the old-fashioned way, as Kyle does have a moment. Gets by. Oh. Sketchy McLaren. They all thread the needle. They get through, but Pav does get the move done on Kyle Martin. And now Gutierrez behind. Kyle's looking to capitalize also.
What a move. Keeping the foot in with the car off the track right there. Not sure if there were local yellows or not, but it was a good move.
Oh, that's Toddy off again.
Get all these guys coming up to McGinnis here. McGinnis just had an off track in front of these guys. He's going to hold them all up. And he gets out of the way. Caught him in that chicane right there. That could be bad timing for sure.
McGinnis is a very respectful driver, as he almost misses that entire corner. He's learning the ropes of ACC and sim racing in general, and I couldn't be happier with his mindset about everything. He's really enjoying the learning process. It's been good to see.
So I'm watching, while you guys are watching this, I'm watching Normando up in P5. He has closed the gap down to Meyer, just a little over a second up the road, and then a second ahead of them is Coors. Normando may still get a podium out of this race. He is running down. He's just, oh, now he's all over the back of Meyer. That slow car kind of got in the way right there. But yeah, so these guys are having a great battle up front up here. Normando's about to get P4.
We're on board with the Tiffany blue Mercedes. Dan Meyer holding his own in P4 right now. Absolutely great performance from him. In Tre Ragazzi team Audi. But Normando says, get out of my way. I got 13 seconds to make up on the course. Normando was a little bit too aggressive in this section before. Let's see how he manages it this time. He's got a similar gap to the car in front. Hopefully he learns his lesson and he doesn't force his way through and he earns it the right way. Let's see how it manifests.
So Doug, I'm just going to do a small correction. It's 2 seconds up the road to Coors, and then it's 14 up to P2. So
you're right.
Normando can still get third out of this, but you're right. He has to get past Meyer right here, and I mean, if he gets past here, he's only got one more car to a podium. But God, he's right there. Now
It's
time to let that
tantalizingly
Mercedes go.
close.
But you can't get the speed on that Audi down the straightaway. It's so hard. We said last week, it's like the Audi's the automatic DRS car, and GT3, you've got to do it in the corners because the straightaways are, unless you do a late dive, which he's thinking about doing here, he's going to do it anyway. There he goes up the inside. Meyer's going to give him room. Meyer's going to try the old switchback, but Normando keeps it parked on the apex. There it is. Normando up to P4. Now he's got Coors 2 seconds up the road with 7.5 minutes left in the race.
He has been released. Full attack mode now from Normando.
Using all the road there on the exit.
Looks like Lorenzo and Legacy had some trading places here. Let's take a gander. Must have missed it a little bit earlier than this, but we saw some action going between these guys all race. Lorenzo's comfortably in the top 10 now. Normando's already built a 1.5 second, almost, well, 1 second gap on Dan Meyer. He's getting away from him. Now he's going to be chasing down Coors. And Proenza attacking Legacy and Lorenzo in front. The carbon fiber hood that goes on forever of the Mercedes. You look at the proportions of that car and it looks like it's rear bumper and wing, rear wheels, driver, and then hood for like a half the car.
It's like the driver sitting in the trunk of that car.
It looks ridiculous. It looks like he's driving a giant shoe, but boy, is it quick.
The boot. Normando's all over the back of Coors. He's caught him. He's there. Now coming up on some slower cars here. Coming up on some blue flags, battling for P3 with 6 minutes left in the race. Coors got a podium back at Zolder this season, 2 races ago.
Oh, Normando's got the inside.
He runs a little bit wide. There he goes. Made that look easy.
Wars is not going to go away. He's not going to just let him run away with it. But already through that little S section, gaining almost a second out of him. Normando's got the pace. He's a full second per lap faster than Coors and about 0.6 faster than GTG. So quick maths for those at home, as we have a Bentley Boys Club Bentley off in the grass there. There's 15 seconds from Normando to GTG, and there's only 5 minutes left. I don't think it's going to happen. Quick maths.
Bad news for Tom. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but P3 is pretty much locked in if he can drive a nice clean race for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think he's in a really good spot. I was just going to say Thomas in the Bentley is one of those Bentleys that went off in that shot. And he was running a nice clean race, running about 15th place. That knocked him down to P20 with about 5 minutes to go. So bad luck for Thomas there, not the way he wanted to finish his race.
Someone who's been quiet.
Oh, a little bit of contact right there.
Yeah, I was going to say who's been quietly racing, but he's being pretty loud on that apex there, is Jan Rodricks in the BMW we're on board with right now. Again, attacking Kyle Martin seems to be a common theme today. But Jan Rodricks has come from, I mean, Duran, are you there? What position did he start in?
Give me a second to pull that data.
Martin's car looks like he's going to have to be like short track oval racing by the time it's all said and done with all the dents and dings in it.
They're just going to put him in the figure 8 race and just say, go for it, buddy. Oh, Roddy Toddy having another moment. Robbie Toddy. Yeah, just another big slide. He just needs to forget about this race and move on. And Gavin Thomas has a moment too. Oh, people, the tires are feeling dead. There's only 3 minutes left. You just got to put your head down and hope for the best at this point.
Nice little battle here for P4 as well. As Gutierrez and Aoki are still running side by side back here. Aoki gives him a little bit of a touch there, I think. Or no, Gutierrez gave Aoki a little bit of a touch. These three all on top of each other here. This is the battle for P12, actually.
P12, P13, and that white McLaren is a back marker. So gotta be careful with how close you're getting to the people in front. Don't want to be that guy causing some carnage to people that should otherwise be blue flagged for you.
That's the same McLaren we saw doing the grass cutting earlier, so he's found some pace in that car again.
Sets up a good exit out of that chicane. Weaving.
Look at the weaving.
Gutierrez is hungry for it. He wants it, and he's been really strong in these hairpins. He's definitely got it again. He's got it again.
Gave him a little chrome horn right there to get out of the way. Aoki's probably give it right back to him here, and he does just a little. Oh, he didn't. I thought he was going to hit him, but he didn't.
Really good on the brakes there. Bad exit for Aoki, so Gutierrez is able to get it out of the way here. I think we need to rename that hairpin, the first hairpin, the Gutierrez hairpin or something, because he's been capitalizing in that spot the entire race. Someone in the chat, please come up with a more clever name for that hairpin for Gutierrez.
The Gucci hairpin? No, I don't know. That's bad. I'll see myself out.
We were gonna pretend that didn't happen.
So Meyer is running down Coors for P4. We've got about 2 laps left in this race.
Oh no, Lorenzo has a moment. Oh, he was running in the top
on the
10.
exit curb. It's going to move Pob up into P10. What a race for Pob.
Pop's been up and down the pecking order, but you mentioned Dan Meyer before I interrupted you with my excitement for Lorenzo. He is back again, hacking Coors in front. You feeling hungry? We got White Castle sponsor on the hood of Tre Ragazzi.
So I think next time by, Sawyer, who's running a nice clean race up front, is going to pick up the white flag. Looking for his first win of the season.
I think he still has to do an entire lap after this.
Yeah, he should pick up the white flag. One more lap to go. And just got to bring her home at that point. Watch out for the blue flags. And as we all know, these races are not over until it's over.
Give me the final push.
Dan Meyer, 4/10ths back. Standed in the braking zone, my guy. Closes that gap up nicely. Someone who we haven't talked about much is Farrell and Menzies here. All of which attacking Whitting Jr. This is about to get spicy.
Look at the late dive.
Farrell goes for an absolute dive bomb, nuclear style. Farrell dodges the carnage. Whitting Jr. says, "Get me the hell out of here."
Wow. As there goes another airplane shadow over the track. That plane's so distracting, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, your leader, working his way through the chicane now. He's got 2 corners to go. He's drove a clean race, all race. Started himself. I can find my data. I can't get to my data. There it is. He started P3, drove a clean race, clean pit stop, and never looked back after the pit stop. Comes out of the final corner for his first win of the season. It's going to be Sawyer at Donington taking the win. Great drive from the Aston driver. G2G GTG, second place, coming home in the BMW. Normando with a first to last to first challenge. He'll come home P3 in the Mercedes, but who's going to get P4? It's like Meyer's going to hold the position on course here. Great drive for Meyer. Started P11, made 7 positions, got up to P4 right there. Coors brings it home P5.
Last lap battle here for Legacy and Pop. Legacy gets the better through the chicane.
Oh, he's got to give that back, right? Surely.
Back marker
Oh,
totally
no!
cuts off.
Whoa!
McGinnis just minding his own business on the left side of the track there, it looks like. And that's how they're going to finish, just like that. Legacy gets P9, Pop gets P10, Lorenzo P11. Aoki has a spin before he finishes, and he loses some positions for it. Get across the line.
No.
He lost 2 or 3 positions in the last corner. Oh, no.
You get a chance, look at the car park at the end of turn 1. You got about 9 cars all parked like in their parking lot in the gravel over here. Oh, somebody just sent it in full barrel, like bowling style right there.
Oh, that's
way to go.
Quality content. Quality content. Well,
let's see if we can get some of these guys and have some post-race interviews. What a race.
Absolutely. That was a really, really great performance. Let's bring in Sawyer, GTG, and Normando, if you can find them, gentlemen.
Try to grab Normando first, if I can find him. There he is. I'm going to grab him. He doesn't know I'm grabbing him, but here we go. Hey, Normando. Great drive, brother. Started on the pole. Had a little bit of bad luck there, and then you took the damage repair on the pit stop and drove it all the way back to P3, man. What a run.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay, I'm commentating. Oh, shit.
Yeah. You're in the booth, brother.
Oh, I'm commentating normally, but I'm turning back around. Yeah, that was incredible. I think I was P15. I think I got back to P3, so that was really hard. I was like, am I gonna do it?
Yeah, do you think, were you losing time? Is that why you decided to take the damage repair before that pit stop?
So I was losing time with the few damage I had with the crash. By the way, sorry for the guy who I hit, the 2 guys. That was really my fault, so I want to be really sorry. Yeah, so I just said, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put 45 seconds of pit stop. And actually, I think that was a pretty good choice. So yeah, that's how I got a good pace after that pit stop. Pretty happy.
Yeah, man, great drive. It was fun to watch you slice through the field and get, work your way back up toward the front. And yeah, I think that was a solid drive, man. Great job.
That was my first race too, so first race here, so.
First of many, we hope.
Yes.
Good deal. Well, thanks for coming out to joining SRA, making yourself well known in the first race that you participated in. We'll catch you again next week.
Yeah. See you too.
Who are you going to bestow upon us this time, PPJ?
Let's bring GTG in here. I moved him to the waiting room, but he jumped back down, so he's going to get really surprised when I'm dragging him up to here. So let's see.
He's eager to escape us.
Here he is. GTG, welcome to the broadcast booth, brother. Great drive. Nice P2.
Thank you. Unfortunately, my black box controls messed up, and I had to take tires, so it put me way behind on that one. But yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, we were watching the gap, and when you came in for the pit stop, we saw you sitting there, and I was wondering what was going on. But yeah, I still got P2 out of the deal. Unfortunately, yeah, sometimes that kind of stuff happens. But walk us through your race, brother.
Hey, yeah, it's a great race. Appreciate it. I'll get there as long just keep improving, right?
P2 is not a bad place to be, my friend. And taking tires, I mean, that's a 27, 25-second difference to your competitors. So you were able to capitalize on that big delta. That shows your mega pace. So next week, forfeit the extra rubber, and you're going to be very comfortable.
yeah, I'll have to figure out my black box controls on that and get it dialed in for next week.
No doubt. Well, thanks for coming out, my friend, and we're looking forward to seeing more of your pace next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's get our race winner in here. Austin Sawyer, welcome to the broadcast booth, brother. Congratulations, great win. Looked pretty uneventful for the second half, but that pit stop put you out front, man. Walk us through your race.
Luck. I did not win on pace at all. I just kind of was going to the grocery store for the last 30 minutes. I was like, stop the count.
Did you pick up some milk and eggs while you were at the grocery store?
Yeah,
at least?
seriously, I was like, why try to get spicy in here? So I just kind of just drove it home for like the last 20 minutes.
So
Watched some blue markers spin out in front of me. It was fun.
you did a great job, but the crowd is dying to know. Who is your driving coach, and what have they really done to help you succeed?
Not on this week, brother.
Yeah, no, I was telling them that I totally left you high and dry this week.
Yeah, no, definitely helped in the wet for Zandy, but no, yeah, no, I watched your race too, and it was you had a good one too.
I don't want to talk about my race whatsoever. This is enough. This is all about you. All about you.
No, you got to give it up to the guys who actually had pace, like Norman Doe, GG, and then I was gonna pass Pav, and then he was like actually fighting really hard. I was like, just let him go, and then he put like 15 seconds on me.
All that being said, though, they all had little mistakes in what looked like the
Yeah, what happened?
the catalyst.
I know Pav and Norman Doe hit, but
Yeah, the catalyst looked like people were just making some pit stop errors, taking tires when they didn't
Yeah.
mean to, or other, like you said, on-track battles where they were being a little bit aggressive, passing one another and collected one another. So that just gave you that extra gap. So,
yeah, that's literally it.
yeah, despite all that, the race is still yours. The gold, the top step, that big bottle of champagne, you can spritz it on all your friends.
Yeah, GG boys.
Yeah, man. Well,
Good job, man.
the thick
Thanks.
boys are looking pretty rosy
thick.
right about now.
Yeah.
Looking good. Cool.
sure.
Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, and good luck again
Sure,
next
guys.
week.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Yeah,
Good stuff, man.
TBD. Gotta practice the next track. Never done it before, so we'll see.
You heard them
All right,
here,
very
folks. $20 an
Yeah.
hour coaching sessions.
That's it.
I mean, $50 an hour coaching session.
There you go. There you go. I'll catch you guys later.
Take it easy, brother.
See you, bud.
If you can, if he's available, I want you to bring up Dan Meyer. Is he available?
I will go run to the driver's room real quick and see if I can find him. Don't see him yet.
Well, then we'll just forfeit that for now. But I want to say that Dan Meyer has been grinding since SRA's inception, basically. And I couldn't be more happy for him to get what was it, P4 today?
Yep, P4.
Yeah, that's a stellar performance from him. I've loved watching the grind. That's kind of like the SRA mantra, right? We're really trying to be broadening our horizons for sim racing. We're not just catering to the elite aliens of the world like the Matt Lehmans. We're really trying to build a community here that's comfortable for anyone. And Dan Meyer came in with very little experience, and seeing him really climb through dedication and practice and being engaged in the community and getting what I think is one of his best performances ever is pretty awesome to see. Guys in the chat were saying that we need to get Dan Meyer some PBR for a good performance. So wanted to show him some love. But kudos to everybody that participated in Season 3, Round 3 at Donington Park for Division 3. And thank you immensely to my two cohorts in the booth here, Dominic Duran and Chris PBJ Hannigan. Do you guys have any final comments that you want to have in the booth today?
I think the only comment I have is just I am, second week in a row watching D3, and these guys are so much fun to watch. We said it's not all about pace; it's about racecraft. Great battles, nice give and take. Some rubbing and racing where we needed to see it, and sometimes where we didn't need to see it. But overall, very good race, and can't wait to do it again. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, these guys are just so exciting to watch, and it's getting better week by week. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like at Bathurst at the end of the season.
It's
But
gonna
maybe that's
be.
looking too far ahead.
I'm gonna need to drink heavily before that race.
That's gonna be a drunk stream.
It needs
For
to
sure.
be webcams so you can see how dilated my pupils are. Okay, that's how we're gonna do it. But fellas, thanks again, and thanks for the community. Love the contribution and commitment, engagement in the chat. You can catch us on YouTube for Division 1 and Division 2 weekly, and this Twitch stream will be saved as a video on demand and posted to our YouTube channel. And if you're interested in joining the community whatsoever, you can go to simracingalliance.com, or you can go to discord.gg/simracingalliance and get yourself hooked up there. Thanks again, everyone, and good night.